finance and spirituality. We're going to tie them together. Scorpio season, baby. Shout out Ja. Let's go. I'm going to read something first from our book, and it's going to set the tone. The debate over good and bad. Here's the reason why I'm reading it to you. I'm reading it to you because most of you guys have this distorted view of finance and finances. This distorted view of the material world, right? The material world is, by definition, a corruption of the lighter world, of the spiritual world. But it's not evil, it's just a function of this reality. Now, do you want to function better in this reality? Then follow along. Here it goes. The debate over good and bad. Have you ever seen a poorly shaped cloud? Or a wave that didn't crash the right way? No, of course not. Clouds cloud, waves, they wave. It's what they do. We attract in our lives not by what we think is good or bad. We attract in our lives what our subconscious and conscious minds project into the universe. These thoughts are not good or bad. They are like waves and they are like clouds. They just are. We attract by what we are. And what we are, more or less, is tied to our perceptions of the world. This is why it is important to understand the law of vibration, to understand that everything in this world emits a frequency, and in order to get what we want, we must tie ourselves into that frequency as closely as we can. This is why we give up fighting. The universe wants us to succeed. It wants us to create beauty in life. It wants us to love. Love is beauty, and nature adores beauty. I swear on everything that is holy, if you just pursue beauty and genuine passion, that everything will be right. Fighting is obsolete. It's full of fear. It says, my way of life is threatened, and therefore, somehow, it is not right. It says that there is not enough in this world for everyone, and lo and behold, what does the world in turn show to us? Surprise, it shows lack. It shows that there's not enough in this world for everyone. It shows all things we fear the most. And one day we will look back and see just how infant-like our society is today. We put so much energy, so much focus, attention into things that we do not want and wonder why they continually show. We are constantly creating, whether it be conscious or not. To stop focusing on fighting is to start focusing on building. I can stand on the sidelines and chirp all day long about how much I hate the way the world is, or I can start doing things that I love because that's what the world needs. More people doing what they love, not more people complaining about how poorly misshapen their clouds are. I'm going to read this one again for the people in the back. The world needs more people doing what they love, not more people complaining about how poorly misshapen their clouds are. The world will fix itself when everyone fixes themselves, when everyone lives from a place of abundance, when people start focusing on creating affluence rather than disdaining the circumstances of their world. The world is not a bad place. It's not a good one either. The world, just like everything else in it, just simply is. And it is not until the introduction of human consciousness that a definition is created. And that definition is damn near magic, as it has the possibility of creating a reality that molds to it. Rain on a wedding day can make one person miserable and another exuberant. People try so hard to polarize good and evil, making a fine line, placing this here and that there, and it is a sincere quest for truth. However, extending from source, therefore to judge anything as good or evil simply creates the limitations. Learning to accept everything for what it is helps the consciousness expand. It helps the human consciousness, and it limits unnecessary suffering. That is the debate over good and bad. What does this have to do with finance, Keyth? Love. How does the line go? Love lifts us up. Love. Oh man, I was trying to quote Moulin Rouge. Up, all you need is love. All you need is love. No, all you need is love. We can't. All you need is love. Love is just a game. I was meant for loving you, baby. You were meant for loving me. I can't remember the next part. Something about the only way of loving me is you need a lovely fee. If you know what she's talking about. But I guess which leads us to this next part of this. So the men on earth must toil. Woman and man on earth, we must toil. That is part of the third dimension. Because it is an innate function of our reality, that means we actually get pleasure from doing it because we're in alignment with this reality. When people get caught up in the sauce because they have the labor thrust upon them instead of them thrusting themselves into the labor, right? We all will suffer. We all bear a cross. We have the choice to choose our own cross. If we do not choose our own cross, it will be chosen for us. You might get stuck with a pretty terrible cross. You might get stuck with a great one, but it's completely up to chance, right? That's you living in the effect instead of living in the cause, because you can either be the cause or the effect. Most people are the effect instead of being the cause. If you throw yourself to chance and to sort of the subconscious programming of reality, then you've given yourself to chance, to the effect. You have not escaped the law. You've just haphazardly used it. So money, finance, we all must toil. We all must labor, right? Choose the one that you love. If we can align ourselves with, now I'm talking basics. I know we're getting out of the occult realm and into finance and like, oh, whatever. Say we're investing. If we could invest in something that we can see growing, gives us satisfaction, boom, we have now hit the nail on the head twice with one stroke. We have increased beauty in our world and in the greater one. We've satisfied a moral precept of ourselves, greening the earth. Like, let's say I'm going to invest in plant a tree, right? I need to stop being so foolish about the material realm. I've got this twisted, distorted view that I just need to avoid money because it's not spiritual. And then you get eaten alive by the material world and you go, woe is me. That ain't us. So when you want to invest, you invest in something that aligns with your morals. When you read books that aren't there to pull you out of the material world. Some of them are there, but if you're in our squad, we're reading a lot of stuff so that we can dip into the fantasy, so that we can escape into the clouds, so that we can be all in the head and not in our body, not in our feet. On one hand, we talk about how wonderful grounding is to connect with earth, because it is. But then we curse the material realm. How can you in the same breath, watch this, one breath, grounding is so good for you. Connecting with Mama Earth and nature and feeling it under your toes is so good for you. Electrons and balancing the aura and detoxing. This material realm is a shadow of the spirit realm. It sucks here, and money is evil, and the material realm is all evil. All right, that was a really long sentence, but it was still in the same breath. You following? We cannot curse the material realm and also praise it at the same time. It's like trying to walk from here to infinity, here to clear across the country. We'll walk from California to Texas, and I'll take one step forward and one step back the entire route, and you'll be like the hamster. The Kybalion Hermeticism says you'll be like the hamster, running fervently its entire life, but dying in the same spot that it started, because we did not know how to utilize law. Making money off of your passions, investing in things that you love. If you can set a goal for yourself that aligns financially with something that you love, you're halfway there. You remember, to be in the physical realm, man must toil somehow. And the reason why I say that is because that's how nature works. Have you ever tried growing up? Plant growers out there will know this, and if you don't grow plants, then you're about to learn something. When you grow a plant in the absence of wind, the wind doesn't push on the plant, so there's no stress on the stalk. And if there's no stress on the stalk, the plant doesn't reinforce the cell walls to make them thicker to withstand the wind. But when that plant goes to bear fruit, the weight of the fruit breaks the stalk because there was not enough cell structure created because there was no wind. In other words, the wind makes the plant stronger. Such is the function of our reality. The pressures in life make us stronger. Pressures in life tend to make us stronger. Some make us weaker, some kill us. But welcome to planet Earth, baby. You signed up for this, I think. I'm pretty sure you did. So, in other words, man must toil. You must grind to make money. You must grind to take care of your family. But the quality of the grind, what that grind pertains to, what it looks like, should be determined by you. For example, my grind is growing my YouTube channel. Now, what's amazing for me, because I've turned it into a game these past couple months, I'm like, I'm going to be really consistent and just see what... I've never been the guy to post every day because I don't feel like people want to hear me that much, or I'm going to turn off the crowd, or, oh, Keyth's posting again, and they're going to... I have all these things in my head. It's all these excuses. And whether they're true or not, they weren't working for me. So now I'm like, all right, this is the first time in my YouTube career just doing it. I'm just going to... All right, let's see what happens. And I just see the graph go, 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 go. And what happens? Now I get more ideas. Now I'm making more friends. Now I'm seeing the clicks go up. I'm seeing the shares go up, right? And it's like, I've taken out the how does this unfold. I don't know. I'm going to post more and this person's going to share it to that person. That person's going to share it to this one. And then it's going to, maybe it stumbles into the lap of this person. And then, this person likes me that I meet. Now they invite me on there. Like all that stuff. It's what I've done. I've turned it into a game. Again, because I'm controlling the reins, I've turned it into a type of game where it's like, I don't care how it grows. All I'm doing is I'm setting my sights. I'm having a goal set. I want to go there. I want to make money. And I want to go there. And this is how I want to do it. I want to make money in alignment with what makes me happy, what satisfies an itch that I can't ever scratch, being the occult and spirituality and reading and just this world that you guys know. I want that. I've set it up. So now when I grind, when I hustle, when I'm burning the midnight oil, it's for this. It's for you guys. It's for talking and making cool videos with the mushrooms and just hanging out. And when I see the growth, I feel fulfilled. And when my son grows up, he sees, Dada's doing what he loves and he's killing, he's making money, and it doesn't. Like, here's what happens. We find out that what we really want in life is to feel fulfilled. What we really want in life is to be content and to laugh with our loved ones and wake up happy and to go to sleep happy. Wake up content and you go throughout your day content. I mean, genuinely. I'm not content because you were able to rage this weekend or take a bunch of drugs or party until you black out, or those things are great, don't get me wrong. I mean, they have their time, they have their place, but I'm talking a baseline happiness, just a genuine baseline. Your overall electromagnetic field is just emanating happiness when you wake up, throughout the day, and when you sleep. And by golly, that comes from what you decide to labor towards in this world. What are you gonna toil with in this world? You can't be idle. You can't be idle. Anxiety, idleness breeds depression, like Napoleon Hill says, and the devil says. Idleness breeds a terrible, inescapable, hypnotic rhythm, and it changes everything about you. It changes your character. It changes your thoughts and actions. And when that happens long enough, it changes your subconscious mind. In other words, it changes your base frequency. You are now attracting idleness. You are now attracting thoughts that increase idleness. You're now attracting thoughts and actions that increase idleness, which attracts people that feed off of that. Money, it kind of makes me not sad, but it really gets my wheels churning. I think of Atlantis. Sorry, that came out of left field, but I think of Atlantis, and I imagine in my head this fascinating culture, light years ahead of us in technology, but at the same time still grounded with the earth. I imagine them having all sorts of crafts, all sorts of wild foods and animals. I even imagine them, who cares, genetically engineering and genetically modifying organisms, certain plants like glow-in-the-dark trees. It's one of my... I'll sign off on the GMO glow-in-the-dark trees, where they put the bioluminescent bacteria gene into trees so that they can use trees to light up streets. It's really cool. I don't think it's going to happen, but you got my vote. Imagine them having stuff like that. Imagine the resources it takes for that. Imagine the realities that they're able to explore, the truths in this reality that they're able to uncover, and the resources it takes to do that. I see the potential of humanity going in that direction. But it's really difficult when the people who are the quote-unquote spiritual, or who are the ones who don't find it necessary to unalive each other over scarcity. And that's really what it is. That's really what it all comes down to, is humanity is caught in the animal state where we think that scarcity is a real thing. Oh, there's a water shortage. Oh, the forests are all disappearing. Oh my God, the world is ending. Everyone's gonna die. And CO2, like all that stuff comes from a scarcity. It comes from people still down to unalive each other because they think that they don't have enough food to eat. Those days are over, you guys. We could replant. We could grow a forest. Oh my God, we can grow a forest the size of the entire planet in about 2 weeks. If we wanted to. Imagine there was, hey, plant a tree day, but all the countries were invited. And it was just a regular thing, like Christmas, right? For Christmas, everyone just knows, all right, for Christmas, we buy gifts, we have dinner, we open presents. Across the world. Now imagine if there was Christmas, but for trees. Okay, every year, once a year, we all just plant a tree. Like everyone gets a tree, we get one for the kids, and we plant a tree. You pick your favorite tree that makes sense in your zone, you plant it. No big deal. Costs what? $100 for the family to get a tree. Now once a year you've got 7 billion people planting 7 billion trees. That's just one tree per person. And that sounds like, oh Keyth, that would never happen. Oh Keyth, we did it with Christmas. Once a year everyone buys like 50 presents for, no, I'm exaggerating kind of, but we do it for Christmas. We do it for Valentine's Day. Okay, buy your partner a rose. But you see what I'm saying? We are at the point in human civilization where we've never been before, where scarcity is fabricated. Scarcity is fabricated. Abundance is the natural state of things. Money included. Finances included. All be rich. Dare I say that? I'm trying to think. Should we not? Are there cases where we shouldn't? Maybe. But I don't think that we should all be poor. I do see the texts and I do understand how being sucked into the material realm can be bad for spiritual progress. I believe that, definitely. But I believe that being on the exact opposite end of the spectrum is equally as bad. I believe somewhere right in the middle is the sweet spot, is the beauty spot. Not completely poor, not stupid, filthy rich. If you're stupid, filthy rich and you've been that way your whole life, then you're like the plant who's never gotten any wind. When you go to harvest your fruit or bear fruit, you collapse under the weight of your own weight. And if you're poor your whole life, you criticize reality. You criticize the people around you. You criticize anyone with affluence. You criticize anyone that has what you want and that you don't have, generally speaking, and you become bitter. And you become... Either end of the spectrum is wrong. You need balance. You need both. Don't think that shorting yourself on finance is somehow helping your spiritual game. It's not. Shorting yourself on finances helping your game. I'm sorry. It's not. The outliers, of course, maybe a few people out of 100 will be able to transmute that energy into something that helps them transcend, but I bet you have a tendency towards that state already. People who have a tendency to not really want much, or to be born with understanding they need very little, or for whatever circumstance they're in, they're fine with having very little. You know what I mean? But the majority of us, if you swing the average human to either end of really any spectrum, they're going to lose it. Average human with a stupid amount of money is going to be weak because they've never had to work for anything. And your average human that grows up dirt poor is going to be very, very critical with money and those with material things. And they both, on either end of the spectrum, have truth in them. They both work to a degree. How could they not? They're part of existence. My point is, somewhere in the middle of that pendulum, there is what makes the most sense. So I invite you all on this journey with me to really hammer down things on aligning yourself with something that's satisfying with you. And I know we're creatives, right? We have hundreds, dozens of things that we could really sink into at any given time. But this is going to require some soul searching. What have you already been doing your whole life that you would do for free type of thing? It's one of those conversations. We've all had them before. We just got to do it with better spirits. We got to write it down. We got to create our script, start scripting out our lives. I did it and it's working wonderfully. Oh, I invite you guys all to start working. Go on script rituals, man. That's it. One of them. That's beauty right there. I want to start some book clubs with spiritual finance books. Who's with me? And we'll do lives. We'll do talks. We can talk to each other. We can bring up points. I was going over the demographics in this YouTube channel. And the majority of you guys are males between 35 and 45. And well, males between 25 and 45. It's almost half and half. And I'm trying to think what would do that, and what does that type of person need in the spiritual community? And I thought about myself, of course, because that's really the closest person I have a relationship with. I am a male in that age range, and that's it. It's that inner of the material realm of money, of finances. And it's so, like, I see fluorescent lighting, hard floors, boots and heels, and business suits and ties, and that sort of thing. And it's almost a contrast to spirituality, but it doesn't have to be a contrast with spirituality. It can be the goddamn catalyst that takes you to the next level, right? Because I guarantee you, if I built a pyramid, if I was like, hey, you guys, I went and took the exact same measurements of the pyramid, got the angles exactly down, and I built a pyramid out here, and I've been putting people in a chamber. It's mirrored just like it. We put them in the sarcophagus, and they meditate, and they've been astral projecting. We figured it out. We learned the secrets of the Egyptians. This is how they're blasting off, baby. This pyramid turned out to be some type of energy generating machine, and everyone would come from around the world. Everyone would come from around the world to check out this pyramid, baby. You'd be freaking dope. Oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. Not one person would look. Very few people would look at that and go, man, this was very unspiritual of Keyth to have to use all this money, all these millions to build this pyramid. How unspiritual, Look at this frankincense orchard he planted out here. Oh man, that's very unspiritual. These trees must have cost a fortune. These trees must take so much water. Oh man, that water bill must be really high. How unspiritual is that? No, they'd be, look at this dope ass pyramid, but the pyramid's gotta come from somewhere, right? So tell me how money. And here's another thing. Sorry, this video's getting long. If you're still with me, shout out, baby. What was it? I got excited and I lost my train of thought. Oh no, pyramids, train of thought, building thing. Oh, that's right. You have to tether. You will only get not money, but anything. You will only get anything in your life for the space that you create for it. That's how nature works. If there is a void in nature, nature fills it, and it fills it with whatever's around it, right? If you dig a hole at the beach, what's gonna come? Water and sand is gonna fill the hole. Simple enough. So wherever you create, the surrounding space of that void is gonna fill it. That's how nature works. You cut a hole in the forest, boom, the forest is gonna fill it in immediately. We talked about this. Life started in the oceans, filled the oceans, spread to land, filled the land, spread to the skies, filled the sea, the land, and the skies. Now life is spreading to the moon, to Mars, right? That's what it does. Nature abhors a vacuum. It fills it in. If you want money and resources, you have to create a vacuum in which the resources go into. Like, I'm not just going to magically accumulate a vast amount of time. I'm not going to just accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars if I'm just playing video games all day, because that's not the space I'm creating. I'm not creating a conduit for $1 million by playing video games all day. But energetically speaking, I can create a conduit to invite tens of dollars if I create the vacuum for it. Which starts small, right? It starts with an idea, which is free. I want to build a pyramid. That's the idea. I write it down, and the void grows. I read it every single day, and the void grows. I create a project outline. I imagine how much it's going to cost. For shits and giggles, contractors who are relevant to this work, I find out permits. What's the biggest pyramid I can build? On what kind of land? Okay, how much is that? All right. All the research I'm doing to even see if it's feasible, I'm opening a void. I'm opening a space. Energetically speaking, I'm opening up a conduit for which the finances to build a pyramid will come. To grow an orchard will come. It starts in the etheric. It starts in the immaterial, and then it manifests in the material. And the material manifestation isn't up to us how it unfolds. Just like my YouTube channel, it's growing exponentially now, and it's just because I'm more consistent. How is that happening? I don't know. Some person shares it here. It lands on maybe a special Facebook group with a lot of people, and so it gets a big bump from there. Like, I don't know how the details of existence are infinite, so it doesn't make any. It's not a brain power to figure out the how. You just open the conduit and you stay consistent. You open the conduit and make it bigger, make it more defined. The walls strong, make the definition extraordinarily strong, makes it more real. You increase the contrast, you increase the definition, you increase its realness, reality, real. Now it's all on your mind. Now someone says, oh, I'm a contractor. Oh, you're a contractor? That's funny, because I know this sounds silly, but I really want to build a pyramid, and I was just curious on like how that would cost, or is it even possible? And then because the universe is some shit, that dude, oh really? Because I'm interested in that too, and I would love to help out on that project. I've always wanted my own pyramid, or see how it unfolds. Or I know a guy. Now you start talking about it, you're living about it, you're acting in it, you're constantly creating this tether to the other. So that is spiritual finance. That is how you blend the morals that we want to keep as, I hate saying spiritual because it's such like it. Anywho, open the void to the thing that you're most passionate about. Start creating a space for it. Start creating a vacuum in it so that you create the vacuum so that the universe will fill it. I hope that helps. I really do. I hope that helps, because that's what's going to start changing people's lives. That's what's going to start making it so this world is dominated materially by people who don't go to war as they don't believe in the same spaghetti monster in the sky. You and I are the people that don't go to war because we think there's not going to be enough food in the winter. Right, because that's why people used to go to war back in the day. Hey, we had a bad crop this winter or this summer, and if we don't raid the neighbors, we're going to starve to death. So I get it. I understand. It's kill or be killed at that point. We ain't there anymore, but for some reason, people think we still are. For some reason, people are still unaliving each other because of differing beliefs in the flying spaghetti monster. But whatever. So, but now towards the Atlanteans. Let's get towards them. The Atlanteans, the Lumerians, before they went dark side. Let's get there, where we have massive resources going into beautiful things. Massive resources going into creating spaces that will take you to the next level. And I'm not even talking technologically. I'm talking spiritually, emotionally, where people are toiling over uncovering aspects of breathtaking beauty. And it's insane. The possibilities are insane. And if that doesn't get you excited, then you gotta work. Then you gotta stop drinking the fluoride. You gotta take a little bit of borax, maybe. Start clearing out some of that calcium in the pineal, if you know what I'm saying. Look up that borax for fluoride toxicity, if you know what I'm saying. Anywho, let's get it. Let's get it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.